equity shocker that I discovered this morning. We will, of course, cover the bank failure that I failed to discuss yesterday. And we have a noticeable bankruptcy in the shipping industry. Maybe a sign of more things to come. So let's get into it, folks. This is Monday, July 31st. Yes, July is over. We have 5 months left in 2023. I hope you've made it an amazing year so far, and an even better one in the next 5 months. Let's get into this first. 1 in 4 homeowners, or home buyers, is shopping for a new home in a new city. I think there's a lot of things going on. Is this the work from home? Is this a realization that, hey, where I live is no longer affordable? I had a great conversation yesterday with a South Florida real estate agent. I've been looking for other experienced professionals in other cities. Yesterday, I had a chance to talk with a gentleman, video posted last night about South Florida. And apparently a lot of kind of locals are frankly revolting, meaning all these New Yorkers and folks from Connecticut are coming down, driving up prices, and they are being forced to look elsewhere. So 1 in 4 homeowners are shopping in new cities. This is according to Redfin. Redfin says the top 5 inflow cities, meaning enter minus exit, are number 5, Sacramento, 4,800. Number 2, Orlando, 4,900. Tampa, number 3 at 5,000. Phoenix, 5,300. And the number 1 city, inflow, again, inflow minus exits, Las Vegas, Nevada at 5,700. So again, folks, a lot of movement going on. Is it the work from home, the work from anywhere? Is it baby boomers retiring? Is it, the snowbirds moving somewhere warm? A lot of things going on. Let's talk about the bank failure. I apologize. Yesterday I highlighted it and forgot to discuss it. Shame on me. It was a small bank in Kansas. It had 4 branches. It was called Heartland Tri-State. It was purchased by Dream First Bank. It was organized by the FDIC. So everybody who had accounts Fridays had a new account Monday. Everybody was good. It was a $139 million bank. Now, me and you, $139 million sounds like a lot. Let's not forget that SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, was $209 billion. So again, on a scale, it was a drop in the bucket. I'm not even sure that's 1% the size of Silicon Valley Bank. So again, did fail, closed on Friday, opened as Dream First Bank. Again, this is going to happen. I've been trying to highlight for you, if you want to research something that is similar to what we're going through, it's going to be the S&L crisis. The S&L crisis, I forget the numbers off the top of my head, but saw thousands of banks close. And they don't close all at once, right? The Great Recession, where big banks were collapsing under the weight seemingly every day, it happened over years, right? The S&L crisis was 5, 6, 7 years. I think it's going to be very similar today. So yes, we had the last big bank, the last bank to fail was First Republic. Now we have a small bank. I expect them to be a lot more frequent going forward because, again, we are seeing just a lot of banks be insolvent. They thought they did the right thing by buying U.S. Treasuries, commercial-backed securities, and in a rate environment that's now gone up 525 basis points, it's getting ugly out there. So again, yes, bank foreclosed. How about a noticeable bankruptcy coming to the U.S. trucking industry? Don't know if you've heard this, but there is a company called Yellow. Yellow employs, roughly speaking, 30,000 folks, and they've already sent a note out saying they are going bankrupt. What is interesting about a trucking company going bankrupt is this one, I believe Yellow got a $700 million infusion from the U.S. government right I think in early 2020 to like keep the operations going. I think the U.S. government got like a 20 or 30% equity stake for that. But yes, it is going bankrupt. And reason it's going bankrupt is really simple. They could not refi over $1 billion in debt. Folks, we have been talking about unicorns having debt loads, and they're not going to be able to survive. There are real companies like Yellow, 30,000 employees, who levered up their balance sheet and now can't pay the bills. As interest rates rise, it's one thing to run the company with 3% debt, but now if you have 6, 8, 10% debt, it is unaffordable. And let's not get it confused. The largest debtor in the nation, the U.S. government, their payments are going up, up, up as well. So again, this is going to be something very interesting to watch. I expect more bankruptcies. I expect more bankruptcies. I expect more bank failures. This is just what happens when interest rates go from nothing to 5.25. People are going to get got that didn't have the right debt structures in place. Let's talk about home equity shockers. So again, I've been reading about real estate for 20 plus years. It's not very often I come across a stat that takes my breath away. This one did. I knew intuitively that the numbers were close, but these numbers were shocking to me. So here's the deal. You take 100% of all the single-family homes in the United States, right? I'm going to ask you three questions. What percent of single-family homes have no mortgage? What percent of single-family homes have greater than 50% equity? What percent of homes have less than 50% equity? No debt, greater than 50, less than 50. Let's start with no debt. 38.7% of single-family homes have no mortgage. 38.7%. 30% have greater than 50% equity. 31.3% have less than 50% equity. So when I look at these numbers, it says 68.7% of single-family homes have greater than 50% equity. This is not an over-leveraged housing market. I know people want to create fear and scare you and all of these things. Let's not forget the other part of this equation. Of the 31.3% of homes with less than 50% mortgage, most have an interest rate below 5%. Something like 90 some odd percent or below 6. When you can fix your largest expense outside of taxes, your shelter for the next 30 years, your disposable income or your spending goes up as your largest expense outside of taxes goes up. So again, I don't think I would have guessed that. Would you have guessed that? Seriously, 68.7% of single-family homes have more than 50% equity. I don't think I would have guessed more than 50%. But that was a pretty shocking number. Hope you enjoyed that. Q3 GDP. Yes, folks, we're already talking about Q3 GDP, even though we are just at end of month one. We got our first estimate for Q3 GDP. Remember what it was. It was expected to be 0.3. That's about stall speed. That's not good. 0.3 is not good. It's not negative, but 0.3 is not good. We just ended Q2. We got a report that said the economy grew at 2.4%. So now the estimate has gone from 0.3 up to 1.7%. 1.7%. That's about trend for the last several decades. What I think is interesting is we've had several Q2 estimates that we've talked about over the last year. Initially, the expectation was for a negative number, negative 0.05. That was revised to 0.3. It was then revised to 1.3. And again, it came in at 2.4. These experts have been probably biased towards a recession. So again, I don't see it coming in Q3. I've done a bunch of traveling recently. The airports are bananas. I mean, the rental car lines are crazy. It's just nuts out there. So yeah, I don't see a negative number in Q3. Maybe Q4, maybe next year. I don't know, but I'm not making that call yet. But that was pretty interesting to me. How about Fed Goolsbee? Remember, folks, we had the Fed meeting last week. We're going to get a lot of Fed speak coming up. Fed Goolsbee was on Yahoo Finance today. I caught that. These are some of my notes from that interview. Goolsbee thinks the Fed is potentially on a golden path to curb inflation without causing a major recession. With the data at hand, I think that is a reasonable statement. Number two, the goal is to beat inflation without destroying the economy. Well, that's good to know. Thank you for that. 3, not seeing tighter credit conditions than expected. That one's kind of puzzling because I am seeing tighter credit almost every day. I'm hearing from people almost every day about refi, about purchases, even deals getting done in commercial. It's rough out there. But remember what he said. He said tighter than expected. So maybe he expected this to be hard. I don't know. Remember at that Fresno meetup where I did a keynote, I expect lending to go from what was a 4 out of 10 to a 9. We're probably at a 6 today. So I think lending gets tougher from here. Monthly inflation readings are coming in quite good. Yes, we've been talking about that. And he didn't talk about shelter. I think shelter inflation gets better next month once we get there. And then finally, he has not made up his mind about September. Of course not. September's like 6 weeks away, 8 weeks away, whatever it is. He's not going to show his cards this early. And then let's not forget, a lot of you purchased the Dan Bird Better Trader, Better Stock. Some of you attended, some of you couldn't. It is now available on replay. How do you get it? 1, if you were already one of my students, you have a course or you have another event, go to Teachable, use the same email that you registered, it is right there. That's about 60% of the attendees. The other 40% who were not yet one of my students, what you will do is I took your email from the Eventbrite link, right? I got a download from Eventbrite. I took that email, your first and last name, and I created a Teachable account for you. So you can log in there. I think Teachable sent you a link. It may have gone to your junk box, but everyone has it. I've gotten a couple emails saying I can't see it. It is there. Some of you, remember, some of you have multiple emails. I use the email from the Eventbrite. So that is the one caveat. If you have a main email account and then this other email account you use sometimes, I don't know that. I use the email from the Eventbrite link. So it is there. And then finally, don't forget the How to Get Started One Rental at a Time course at $3.99. If you wanted, you could buy that today and get 2 free goodies. One of them, if you wanted, could be the stock course, could be the buy box, the mastermind, debt equity, whatever you want. So again, it's time to do the work. I think everyone knows we expect some opportunity going forward. We are going into the slow season. We are going into an environment where we all expect some commercial pain. Hear me now. You must get ready to be ready. You don't want to stumble into opportunities having not done the work. Buy box, daily discipline, understanding average, getting around a network of amazing people. Join the free Facebook group once you get the course. So, folks, buy the course below, $3.99. If you want, just get the stock trading course. It's $47. Have an amazing day, July 31st. And We are 1,166. Folks, we are almost under 1,000 folks on our journey to 50,000. I thank all of you for watching. The 5,000 people that watch every day, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, subscribe, comment. It really does help the channel grow. And then, of course, we're sending out some more cards. In this case, we are sending a golden ticket and a black card to Chris. Chris, congratulations on your first and your next deal. Your cards will be going out in the mail today, folks. This is what it's all about. Getting your first, getting your next deal. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.